Hello, Boston. Thank you all so much for coming here today. I'm so deeply honored to be speaking here today at Harvard. By a show of hands, how many of you are excited to be here? Yeah, amazing. Today, I'm going to share a story of trial to triumph with the hope that it inspires you in some way and speaks to your heart. This is a story of my incredible father, Douglas Stamper, and the life-changing lessons that he taught me about leading life with love. For love is what the world needs, especially now. Love is what will set us free. Love can resolve health problems, poverty, crime, discrimination, injustices, and war. Underlying fear is the root cause of all of it. It has run rampant and often been passed down for generations. Fear is the driving force of violence, anger, hate, pain, rage, and resistance. And love is the elixir. Love nurtures and soothes and nourishes us. Truly, our highest purpose on this earth is to love and be loved, to feel love and share it with our communities and the world. Truly, love creates unity and oneness, expansion, growth, happiness, joy, and more love. Love is what heals. Love is the answer. In this moment, I'm so blessed to share my message with the masses, helping others to reconnect with their intuition, helping people to live their lives led by their soul. But my life wasn't always this way. Living a life filled with love and joy. It used to be filled with crippling anxiety and fear and debilitating panic attacks. It wasn't so long ago that I endured deep darkness, incredible pain, abuse, abandonment, neglect, unmentionable suffering. Throughout my childhood, multiple fatal illnesses claimed the lives of my most cherished family and friends. A trusted teacher took advantage of me, taking my young innocence with it. Once I got to high school and I felt safely away from him, I finally got up the courage to tell. And when I did, the police said that I was lying. To say that I was shocked and devastated would be a massive understatement. I thought that the police were there to protect us, to serve us, to help us. And it wasn't long after that that I started using marijuana to help to numb the pain. I was only 14 years old. I didn't know what to do. The mentors, the people who I trusted, were not there for me. And I went on to use marijuana and alcohol throughout many years, but it came to a time where those stopped working. At that time, I really felt like I didn't want to live anymore. The pain became so unbearable. It was at that time I was so desperate. I went into my kitchen, grabbed a knife, held it to my chest, and dropped to my knees. And in that instant, my life flashed before my eyes, and so did my family. And I knew I could not be responsible for causing them any more pain. Not knowing what to do, I put myself to bed. I sobbed uncontrollably for hours. And eventually, I just begged and pleaded for help. I didn't know who I was talking to. I just called out for it. I really wished and prayed that I would pass away in my sleep that night. When I woke up the next morning, it was so wild. There was this crazy force, this urge to go to a bookstore. Immediately, this force was so big that I went right away. And as soon as I did, I walked into the store. I was led exactly to which aisle, exactly to the book. I was intuitively led there. They showed me this book called called The Codependent's Guide to the 12 Steps by Melody Beattie. That book changed the periphery of my life. It helped me to recognize my patterns, my behaviors, because as you guys can agree, I'm sure, we don't know until we're taught. We don't know what our behaviors are. We don't know what our patterns are. Those things aren't taught to us in school. And as soon as I learned them, that's when I could heal. That's what this book taught me. It taught me how to heal deeply and how to live our lives from a healthy perspective, from a healthy coping perspective, which needs to be taught in our education systems. Absolutely. I'm a huge advocate for that. By taking the first step and asking for help, reconnecting to my intuition, it saved my life. And by continually following my guidance, I was led to my next step and then the next one and the next one until I got to the beautiful place where I am now. Absolutely incredible, living an incredible lifestyle. I met my soulmate. We have a healthy relationship. We have $1 million home. We take luxury vacations. It shouldn't have been possible for me. I'm so, so thankful. This foundation that I was taught was a huge spiritual practice. And it's a grounded, centered space for how to navigate anything that meets your path and being able to rise and be resilient. And thank goodness for it, because I was going to need it. It was going to be put to the ultimate test. On April 15th, 2018, an incredibly horrible ice storm wreaked havoc across all of Canada. My beautiful, gorgeous father was driving home that day and happened upon an accident. A very large accident. And my dad, being my dad, stepped out of the vehicle. He was so valiantly brave in all that he did. And even though the conditions were treacherous, he got out to help. It looked like a car had gone off the side of the road and into the ravine below. As my dad was examining the area, an oncoming vehicle approached. He valiantly waved his hands, trying to warn the driver of the damage, to try and help him. Unfortunately, the truck hit the debris, hitting my dad and killing him instantly. To say that there have been some incredibly dark days would be an understatement. Things went from bad to worse when we got a call from the police telling us that the initial accident was caused by a transport truck. It had taken out an entire area of 14 large guardrails, leaving them strewn all over the road. But they found the driver. He had left the scene. They called to let us know that he would be appearing in court. And I knew with all of my being that I would want to go and stand for this man. My dad left a legacy of unconditional love. He adopted my sister and I when we were 8 years old and 6 years old, brought us into his family, and treated us no differently than he treated his other children. This man, if you knew him, you loved him. He walked his talk, and I knew with all of my being, I wanted to stand there for him. The day came, and it was with great fear and trepidation that I went. But as I drove, I prayed the whole way there for the courage and the strength to walk in the door, and for the courage and strength to be able to face this man. As I walked in and up the stairs, my knees were shaking so badly. But I got my answer. And I knew in my heart what I needed to do. I asked for the courage and the bravery and the strength to be able to do it, because it was a big ask. I opened the courtroom doors, and I immediately saw the man who was ultimately responsible for my father's death. I made eye contact with him, and I blessed him as I was guided to. And I felt this huge relief. The resentment, the anger, the hatred, the fury, all dissipated. And it was transformed into a different perspective. I could see his humanness. And I was guided on the way as I was driving there to think about what kind of life he must have had to leave the scene of a major accident. What pain and suffering must have he had gone from? What must he have gone through in his life to do that? And that opened me up to this bigger perspective, which allowed me to heal. It opened me up to compassion and empathy and grace for this human. And it was everything that I could have wanted and more. It provided the deep relief that I needed. I was determined to forgive him because over the years, with everything that I'd been through, I learned that forgiveness is what sets us free. Forgiveness is what this world needs. We are all just humans knowing how to be humans or not knowing how to be humans and just doing our best with what we've learned. I also learned that unforgiveness only hurts the person who holds it. It affects our cellular memory. It harms our health. It absolutely is such a detriment. It is the key that we need to heal. And it helps us to move through it. It lets us live from our highest and best self. It allows us to love and live from love and lead our lives with love. I want to make it clear that forgiving someone doesn't mean that the action that they did was okay. It doesn't excuse the action. What it does is you're telling the world, yourself, the universe, your cells, that you are no longer willing to carry the heavy burden of it. It truly sets you free. After all I've been through, I was able to forgive this man and also my teacher from elementary school. And it changed my life, and my dad taught me those things. Such an incredible man. And if I can forgive, I know that anybody can. Absolutely. No matter what you're going through, no matter what you've been through, it's time for us to rise and shine our light into the darkness to return it to love. We are here to let love lead and remember that trustworthy guidance and support and love is available to every single one of us, all of the time. It's there for you too. I'd be honored to teach you, to show you how you can establish your own grounded, solid connection to your intuition, to your guidance system, so you can be having that grounded, confident, centered space filled with support and love. So no matter what shows up in your life, you will have a solid foundation to confidently navigate it, to move through it with the most ease and the most grace and the most confidence. If you feel called, I invite you to connect with me. I would love to meet you. I will leave you with this. The world needs you. We have the power to change the world. Every single one of us, our thoughts create energy around us. We are so powerful. We matter. The thoughts we think, the actions that we do, we can make a difference. I'm getting goosebumps as I'm saying this. So beautiful. You wouldn't be in this room right now or hearing these words if you didn't resonate on some level with this. Your soul knows this. I ask you to look into your heart and lead your life with love, showing you the way in all you are, in all you say, and in all you do. For love rejuvenates our spirits, heals our bodies, and inspires our minds. I ask you to consider to holding your heart high and open when adversity strikes, even when it strikes. We can choose to lead our lives with love. From my heart to yours, I'm sending you all so many peace and blessings and so much love on your journey. Thank you so, so much.